Shemai everyone, it's JonnyVR here with a review for the first episode of The War Between the Land and the Sea, the new Doctor Who spin-off, the new addition to the Whoniverse. Had two episodes today on the 7th of December, so I'm going to do one video for one and then one video for the next. So I really enjoyed this, sitting down on a Sunday night for this two episodes. Two episodes again next week, and then followed by the finale 1 week later. As always, the first part of this review will be spoiler free, and then I will start talking a little bit about bits of the episode. So, the first episode of The War Between the Land and the Sea is titled Homo Aqua, and I think there's a few things that I have to say about this. I think the first thing is generally it's different. I think it's what I think a lot of people maybe expected from it. It's different from the regular sort of Doctor Who. It's not Doctor Who as as you think it would be. But there's 5 episodes. It has very much this very political sort of landscape inside the episodes. I mean, it has a kind of an idea, like very much a flavor of the old Torchwood Children of Earth series that I think is throughout. And I'm really for it. I'm great. I'm all for a Doctor Who spin-off, and I think there was always this idea of a unit spin-off, and there's kind of a flavour of that in there as well. So I think it's kind of like a mix between these unit spin-off that everyone was talking about, and also the this kind of again event spin-off where what is happening within the war between the land and the sea. Do I think it's going to be like War in the Land between the War and the Sea season 2 and 3? No, I think it's just going to be one mini series event. This is happening in the Doctor Who universe at this time, and I think that's great. I'm all for this kind of event series that continues with cliffhangers at the end of the episodes and continues through. So I really I think it's a refreshing change, and of course there's some characters in there that we know, and there's some new characters as well that we've known about for a long time because of the promotional images and casting announcements and things like that. I think that they do mostly a good job. I think the character of Salt is an excellent character. I do have to say I'm not fussed about Barclay's character, and I'll go more into that in the spoiler section. But I think the way that his character is handled is a bit weak in the story, and I'll go into a bit more. But I think the thing is they put they are the leads of the show, right? They announced this. It was Barclay and Salt, and overall I'm much more drawn to Salt's performance. I think that that as a character is very, very believable, and Barclay I think suffers from some aspects of the story that I really have to suspend my disbelief for. But overall, I think it's an exciting show. I think that it's very good at building tension. In the first episode, it has some very tense moments. The changes to the Sea Devils, I'm totally okay with. The redesign, I think, is great. Actually, I do like it now that I can see them on TV in full, not just in some short trailer shots, but actually seeing them. I quite like it actually, and the detail in some of these costumes. They actually make them look very lifelike, considering. And yeah, I think overall I'm happy. I'm just disappointed with Barclay's character, I think, and Barclay's story. But overall, from the first episode, it does draw you in. It builds tension. It sets the scene for the next episode, which I'll review in the next video. And going ahead for the rest of the miniseries, I'm very excited. So overall, I think it's great, and I love the music as well. They posted some videos of the music recently, but the music is great in the show. I really like it. So yeah, spoilers now. Here's your spoiler warning, guys. If you haven't seen it already, go see it. So starts off basically um, with a boat who's captured some fish, fishing boat. But inside the net is actually one of the sea devils, who are no longer being referred to as sea devils. They are being referred to as Homo Aqua, because that's supposedly, well, sea devils is supposedly a racist term in now, so they have to refer to them as such. Then they start to have communication. So basically, it kind of all centers around Barkley, because Barkley is this character who, like, he wakes up and he gets like called in, but like this is the thing. I think from the very get go, he's called in as a replacement for a guy called Roger Trevithick, and the thing is, they just make him out as so underqualified for the task at hand. He's not meant to be there. He's only booking taxis for unit personnel. Like, and then all of a sudden, he's like, I think I have to suspend my disbelief so much that he goes down on paper as Roger Trevithick's replacement when he's not available. And in the show, like, he even gets, like, he gets taken, he gets put on the plane. A unit guard is like reviewing some like sensitive material, and he's like, he says to Barkley, like, can you believe this? And then Barkley's like, I'm not even supposed to be here, I'm grade 10. And the unit guard is like, you're grade 10, don't even talk to me. And then he's like, shouldn't the unit guard do something about this guy who really shouldn't be there? I don't know. And it's all that throughout the entirety of the first episode. His story is like, he's there, and like, he's just so. I didn't realize that he was supposed to be so underqualified in the story, and I think this is I really have to suspend my disbelief to this, because then basically they show him. Basically he gets dragged into the military operation and stuff. They have a dead Homo Aqua on, like, slung up by local villagers of this fishing town, and then you got this really cool scene actually of the other sea devils, like, coming from the earth, like making the like quicksand, and then like they do kill two other characters, and they take the body, not before Barkley sort of does this gesture of a cross in front of it, and yeah, pretty much that's it. And then you have this. That's the thing. At this point, it's like, okay, he's there, and he even says to like the military general, like, he's not meant to be there, and the general himself is like, he spits out some unit protocol that says that, like, he's allowed to be there. And I really struggle, to believe that this would happen. They would just let some guy, in on this. But then, all being, take that for granted, and then you got like this very good tense moments of confrontation between a single sea devil in the ocean versus like the military on the land. And actually, these sea devils, they don't speak English. They don't have that whispery voice. They have this sort of a crackly, croaking voice, and I just think it adds so much tension, because there's that. It's really well built, because like, you don't know what they're saying, and the translation is not 100% perfect. So whatever they say, like, they have to translate multiple times, trying to find like the better word, and then they have to translate back, but even they have to try and find the right words. And all looks okay, especially when the sea devils, like, they say, we want peace. The sea devil says agreed, and they want this, and it's agreed. So it all looks okay for that point, until they say, that they're talking to the whole planet at this point, and then you get more sea devils coming out of the sea. And I think this is excellent, filming, with all the sea devils there, lightning in the background, and then you got like things coming out of the River Thames, and sea devils like standing watching over people all over the planet. Like, they are, like, when Russell T said that, like, they're coming back out of the ocean and they're letting people know about it, they're letting people know about it, which I thought was really cool, and that kind of sets the scene for the next episodes. Like, everybody's aware of it. It's a whole situation. Like, it's like, what would happen in the planet if, like, that actually did happen, and all this creatures came out from the sea. And then the kind of, I feel like time skips forward a bit then, because after what happens on this island and this confrontation scene, it skips forward. This kind of a flash sort of forward of them building this sort of tunnel for what they call H2O diplomacy, which apparently is seen as like a symbol of peace, and it literally just comes from the Thames to like one of these conference rooms in a nearby building. And on the surface, okay, there was two things. On the surface, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool, and they show like how they build this big tank and they fill it up with water, and like they break open the building, and like they have this sea devils come in, swimming in. They have different species, not just sea devils coming in, and then you have a third species, which is like what they call like Homo Amphibia or something, which is the character of Salt, who's like this mix between a sea devil and a human. And I thought this was all really cool, but then I was like, it kind of doesn't make sense, this aspect of it, because the sea devils, okay, at this point, okay, the sea devils, they come out of the water to chat with the humans on the beach, and they come out of the water on these like coral reef kind of things, and they're standing with their spears and things like that. They're not in the water. They don't need to be in water to survive, and yet they get built this entire tank. For what reason? Because then the ambassador, Salt, and two sea devils just walk immediately out of the tank and into the room. So it's like, I mean, I suppose it shows that humanity is like willing to like, you know, compromise and build something that like is suitable for them. But it did seem a bit like strange, considering that we see them outside of the water all of the times. They don't stay and chat in the water. They just have this water tank now. But then you have like Kate appearing, and you know, she's taking some charge in the HGO diplomacy, and they have like this character who's like supposedly the ambassador, and they start talking about different things. And then I was like, it comes for this whole like point where at the end of the first episode, Salt is like, we don't want you as the ambassador, we want him as the ambassador, and she points at Barkley. And she's like, you know, why Barkley? And she says it's because he showed respect, because he made that symbol of the cross in front of the dead sea devil. And I was like, okay, but like, he gets chosen, and that's the thing, like, they try to build him as this kind of like, he's out of his depth, like he's you know, he's not really supposed to be there. And even in the diplomacy, like in that hall with all the people from all of the countries, that guy appears, Roger Trevithick. He appears, and he's being escorted out by security, like you know, he's supposed to be there. He's the one who Barkley is supposed to replace, and that's his job. He's supposed to be there, and security is escorting him out, like as if, you know, the job is now Barkley's. But like, I don't know, it just doesn't land. Like, it feels like they almost dig themselves a little bit more into a hole with Barkley. You know, if Roger Trevithick didn't appear, you know, it would, you know, maybe it would be easier to suspend the disbelief. But like, it just seems like too much all at once, and like he's there, and like his comedic, like they play him off as this hopeless, almost not supposed to be there, also comedic character. Like, I wasn't expecting him to be so like comedic in the way that he is an actor, not just like as it is, but like in the diplomacy, he's like, he gets chosen and he's like, no, and I don't know, I felt like his character is a bit like, I didn't fall for me, and I'm more on that in episode 2, which I'll come back to in the next video. But like, all in all, besides I think Barkley, who's important because the story dictates that he's important because he's a main character, I really did like Salt. I really did like the tension. I really did like this feeling that it was a big event in the Doctor Who universe. So overall, I'm very happy with episode 1, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's something different, and I'm really happy that we've got a spin off to bridge the gap between like the end of the last series and the next episode, which is only coming next Christmas now. But I did enjoy it a lot, and I look forward to next week's episode as well. So yeah, overall I think really good, kind of a bit what I was expecting with regards to a mix between like a Children of Earth event and a unit spin-off. Some really good performances, particularly Salt. I thought she was great, and again the tension building, the music, all adds to some very good TV, I think. So I'm going to give it a 7, a fairly sort of average 7, because I kind of like let up about Barkley, especially in the first episode. But all being well, like, show will continue to improve. So let's see now what happens next. Let me know. Put your comments down below what you thought of the episode. Let me know if you were tuning in and if you continue to tune in and what you're looking forward to for the rest of the season. So stay tuned. Another video will be dropping very shortly about episode 2. So yeah, see you there. Bye.